Who's gonna be the next character to abstract in the amazing digital circus? We first found out about abstracting in episode 1 with Kaufmo, where he turned into this huge black horse-like monster with eyes all over his body. We know that abstraction happens if characters reach their breaking points, lose their minds, and become these abstractions. At first, we thought that abstracting meant the character died, and technically we can say that because the characters do leave their original bodies behind, or transform into an abstraction. But who's going to be the next character to abstract? It could actually be someone we're not expecting. But first, let's see what we know about Kaufmo, so that we can take that information and put it together with the current circus members to see who's going to abstract next. If we look at Kaufmo, he was originally a clown character, and Ragatha and Gangle said they didn't really find him funny, and only Fake laughed at his jokes. Maybe this pushed Kaufmo away, making him feel lonely. So, he started spending more time alone in his room, just wanting a way out of the game since he couldn't really connect with the other circus members on the level he wanted to. We saw how obsessed he became with the exit door, because his whole room was covered in writings on the wall and paintings about the exit door. I'm guessing Kaufmo kept searching for the exit, and might have actually found an exit door, just like how Pomni did. He went through it, but maybe Kane wasn't as quick as he was in Pomni's case, and Kane couldn't bring Kaufmo back from the void in time. Kaufmo was so far away that he eventually reached his breaking point, lost his sense of reality, and abstracted. Maybe this means that if Kane couldn't stop him in the void, Kaufmo might have crossed a border which Pomni couldn't, because Kane teleported and took her back to the circus. Kaufmo actually crossed out of that border into the real world, and the abstracted version of him is what was left behind. For example, I think Kane might actually know that Kaufmo abstracted because when Kane says, "Kaufmo abstracted, why didn't anybody tell me?" he sounds so sarcastic. Why would he be this sarcastic if he didn't actually know? What I think could have happened is that Kaufmo escaped, Kane put him back in his room, and let him run rampant. Thankfully, it didn't go too crazy even though Ragatha was in excruciating pain. At least Kaufmo didn't get to the other circus members, and stuck with beating up the Gloink Queen NPC. Here's what I mean when I say Kaufmo might have escaped. If you look at the void, what do you see? White pixels. What do we know? The amazing digital circus is a video game, and video games have pixels to render out images that our eyes can see. So when you get so far out into the void and see the white pixels floating, you're looking towards the exit of the game, the computer screen. At the end of the episode, the computer screen we see is plain white. The void could be the pixels leading to the screen, and Kaufmo could have gone through those pixels, which Pomni unfortunately couldn't because Kane took her back. Kaufmo actually could have escaped, which is crazy to me because abstracting is seen as giving up. The circus members slightly mention that giving up makes you abstract, but this could be a lie that Kane has told them. Kane could have said, "Oh yeah, he gave up, abstracted, and lost his mind." No. It could have been that Kaufmo actually escaped, and that's why he left behind an abstraction. But now, let's figure out who will be the next person to abstract, or maybe even escape. One of the most popular theories is that Queenie used to be Kinger's wife, who abstracted at one point, making Kinger the way he is. We saw how he gets scared easily, and seems like he's inside his own head most of the time. In episode 2, throughout the whole adventure, he seemed like he wasn't even there. This could be because Kinger is confirmed to be the first one that joined the circus out of the existing members. As far as we know, it could even mean it was decades ago. If he spent more than 10 years there, and lost his supposed wife at some point, of course, we could understand why he seems a bit crazy. I honestly think Kinger is a strong candidate to abstract next, because he's kind of unstable. I think Kinger could probably tell us a lot about the circus and the previous members who abstracted. But since we saw how he usually forgets what he was talking about mid-sentence, I don't think we'll get to see him talk much about the past. For that reason, I don't think he can get obsessed with exiting the game, so Kinger should be safe, except maybe if he gets into a situation where he goes through an exit door by accident and just exits the game unintentionally. But I'm hoping he doesn't abstract soon because he's my favorite character. I want to see him keep talking to the circus members. Okay, Kinger, please stay in the circus for like 100 more episodes, and then you're good. Now let's look at a stronger candidate, which is Jax. In episode 2, when the trailer came out, I honestly thought Jax was going to be depressed and be the first one to abstract. However, we saw that he was just disappointed in the adventure because it lacked violence, so he felt bored throughout the whole thing. We can guess that Jax probably keeps himself sane by bullying others and searching for ways to spice up the adventures. That's what keeps him sane. However, at the end of the second episode, we saw something weird. Jax actually showed some emotion when the other characters talked about Kaufmo's funeral. We saw that Jax got a teeny bit sad. Maybe it's possible that he struggles to keep up with his tough guy persona and deep down is fighting against his own emotions. But since he chooses not to be friendly with the others, it may result in him drifting away and eventually abstracting. Jax shouldn't fight his emotions, but shouldn't let them control him either. He needs to be human. I don't know if he'll abstract that soon, because Gooseworks said we'll see more of his evil side in the next episodes, so he'll probably occupy his mind more with the constant violence he wants, for whatever weird reason. He should last a few more episodes, but his negative nature could be more likely to make him abstract. So maybe it's Zooble who's going to abstract next. It would make sense because we saw her the least in the first 2 episodes, right? I actually know from Gooseworks that episode 3 will focus on her, and Zooble is going to have more dialogue in episodes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. If Gooseworks is telling the truth, then it means Zooble is safe throughout the whole season. But we probably can't say the same about Gangle. Next to Zooble, Gangle is the other character we saw the least of during episodes 1 and 2. What we know about her is that she's very emotional, and Jax gives her a hard time by constantly hurting her either physically or mentally. So maybe Jax will push Gangle to the edge, and she'll abstract. I think it's possible Gangle could be next to abstract because Gooseworks said we'll have an episode around the question of why Gangle isn't allowed to feel happiness for longer than a few minutes. Maybe this means she's very close to her breaking point and can't protect her happy mask, leading her to feel sad and miserable all the time. Another possibility is Ragatha. We saw that she's trying to cope by being extremely kind to everyone. She visited Pomni the day after Pomni left her behind to die, not only forgiving her, but looking out for her throughout episode 2's adventure, until they got separated. When Pomni and Ragatha reunited, Ragatha came running over to Pomni like a worried mother. This shows that Ragatha, even though Pomni has done terrible things to her, still loves her. This shows Ragatha is very caring and kind-hearted, but we know she is really suppressing her own feelings. She shouldn't stop loving Pomni, but she needs to tell Pomni how she feels. Then they can love each other, instead of it being one-sided. In episode 1, we saw how emotional she can be. If she lets her thoughts run freely, she can send herself into an existential crisis. Maybe we'll see Ragatha reach her breaking point in one of these next episodes. Lastly, there's Pomni. After episode 2, Pomni reevaluated her feelings about being in the circus. She was shocked in episodes 1 and 2, and even lost her friend Gummy Goo. Towards the end of episode 2, she realized that she could keep sane by trying to be friendly with the circus members. This way, her nightmare of nobody loving her won't become a reality. Obviously, everyone is loved by someone. Even if you don't have that someone, God loves you. If Pomni tries to connect with others and make real friendships, she'll probably be safe throughout the season. Plus, she is the main character, so she kind of has plot armor. My guess is that either Gangle or Ragatha will be the ones to abstract next. Let me know in the comments who you think will abstract next. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and click on this video here.